My name is Mike Senna, programmer slash robot hobbyist. When I was going to college, I got a degree in electronics. I was good at electronics, follows the same logic as programming. I found out programming was a pretty good profession to get into, and I was pretty successful at it, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm a programmer for a biometrics company. A biometrics place makes fingerprinting software for law enforcement, FBI, military. I started building robots in 2002. I guess that's 15 years ago. The reason I got into it was because I was getting bored with what I was doing at work. I was going to work, coming back home, and working on the house and doing things like that. I wanted something that could really stretch my skills, kind of use my imagination. So my first robot was R2-D2, and it was because I have the love for Star Wars, and definitely it's my favorite character in the whole film. He's the guy behind the scenes making things happen. He's got to get things done. Started with that one. I thought it would impact people the most, and indeed it did.
I first met Mike Senna back in 2005. There was a promotion for Revenge of the Sith, and I went out there to go check it out, and there were all these Star Wars characters there. And there was R2-D2, my favorite character of all time. I was looking around to see who was controlling R2, but I couldn't figure it out. And after about a half hour of me trying to figure out how this R2 was working, someone tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "It's me." And that was Mike Senna.
I met Mike Senna at our very first R2LA event, which was at his house in 2003. And he was one of the first people I'd met who had finished his own R2-D2. Very impressive. Most of us had never seen a finished R2-D2 in person, so that was a big deal.
Now, the R2 Builders Club was started in 1999 by a guy named Dave Everett. He lives in Australia. So it was a bunch of enthusiasts getting together and trying to discover how we can build R2s. I joined the club in 2002, but it was still kind of in its infancy, so I helped out with my designs. My plywood frame and my plywood legs, my drivetrain is used in a lot of the R2s that are built around the world.
We had no idea how it was going to affect our lives, and that little droid has really brought our family a lot of adventure and opportunity. We've got to attend a lot of really exciting events. We've taken trips, so we've met a lot of interesting people. We've just had so many opportunities that we wouldn't have had otherwise. We even got to work the Oscars last year.
And then built a Wally. With Wally, I wanted something that would be more personal. I was going to a lot of the hospitals and charity events. The kids are usually in bed or in a wheelchair, sometimes standing. I wanted to be able to manipulate the head and move it so it can actually look at them. When I started building the Wally, I wanted a new challenge. The systems in the Wally that I had envisioned would be a lot more complex, and it would use a lot more of my skills as far as programming and mechanical engineering. Well, there was actually nowhere to get parts for Wally. So everything that we've done with the Wally is all scratch-built parts. Everything had to be made from the littlest detail to the biggest detail. And then I started an Eve, and before I was done with the Eve, The Force Awakens came out and introduced BB-8. So poor Eve went to the back burner, BB-8 came to the front, finished BB-8, and then built the mouse droid after that. And of all people, the little kids were just enamored with it. I think it has to do a lot with the puppeteering. You gotta watch the people and go off of their reactions. I always like to encourage people to follow their passion. Even if it's just a passing passion, a passing interest, engulf yourself in it, learn as much as you can about it, and then pass the information along. And I want you to share it with your community. That's where the community is built, and that's how information is passed on and improvements are made in things.
Game mode. Dance program.